Today I choose to follow you.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, the 17th of October, and this is Coffee with God. Trust you got a decent cup of coffee to start the day. Now, I want you to stop. Just pause where you are. Take a second sip. I want you to ask yourself this question. Is anything too hard for the Lord? Is enigiets te moeilik vir die Here? Is enigiets onmoontlik? Is anything impossible for the Lord? In Genesis 18 verse 14, the angel comes and talks to Abraham and then talks to Sarah and says to her she'll give birth to a baby in a year's time, and she's past childbearing. So she laughs. And then the angel goes and he says, why did Sarah laugh? He asks Abraham. And then he asks this question. Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the appointed time, I will return to you about this time next year, and Sarah shall have a son. And that's Genesis 18, verse 14. Genesis 18, verse 14. Now, stop. Take another sip of coffee, but while you're taking that sip of coffee, stop and ask yourself, is there anything I'm holding on to? Or more importantly, is there anything that I've given up on? That I've said, well, I've prayed and God's not answering. I'm not going to pray anymore. Is there anything too hard for God? Is there something that you're not taking to Him? Take that third sip of coffee this morning. Is there anything that I don't feel I can trust Him with? Is there something that I feel I just can't ask Him for that? That's just out of the realm of possibility. That's just out of God's scope of work. That's just, God doesn't get involved. That's too small. That's too big. That's too out there. That's too weird. I'm just not going to trouble God with that this morning. Is anything too hard for God this morning? Take that impossible, take that shelved dream. Vat daai wat jy eendag gebare het en gedink, wel, dit was 'n goeie droom geweest, dit was 'n goeie wens geweest, kom ons bære dit. Dit gaan nooit ooit werklikheid word nie. Tel hom op, stof hom bietjie af vanoggend. Kom lê hom voor God en sê, Here, is hierdie 'n moontlikheid? Maybe God's asking you to do something. Maybe God's asking you to stretch. Maybe God's asking you to move into a next phase or a next possibility, a next something. And you're reticent. You're just that's just that's just too far out of my comfort zone. That's just too far out of the box for me. That's just too weird, wacky, and wonderful. The challenge this morning is to let's grab hold of the impossible. Let's imagine and let's dream the unbelievable, because we serve a God who the angel says of Abraham, your wife is past childbearing. You guys are almost going into nappies, but we're going to give you a lot lammetjie. Ons gaan vir jou 'n pensioen vreter gee hier op jou dag. And is anything too hard for God? Have a wonderful Tuesday in the Lord.